Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Sorry.
Roxanne, can you hear us?
Wait a minute. I was like, I need my notes.
Roxanne, can you hear us?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay, awesome.
Excuse me, I'm so sorry to interrupt, but has the meeting started? You guys are muted.
Thank you. We're going to start over. I'm calling this meeting to order. We're resuming from the recess of October 15th. And I want to thank Regina Moore for appearing here for John Fernandez. I would like the clerk's update on early voting.
The clerk's update is that as of today, more than 15,000 people have chosen to participate in early voting and cast their ballot down at election operations. I also called the Secretary of State's office this morning, and more than 500,000 people have chosen to vote early during this early voting process. So on par with the nation as far as better than expected early voting turnout.
Then we have new business, an update to the ABS workers list. Kylie, what is?
So we had to increase the number of travel board individuals to start sending them out because before the end of last week, we had over 90 requests. And now we are starting to see more come in as today is the deadline for applications by mail to be sent in. And just trying to make sure that everybody is being accommodated in the most accessible way for them as possible.
You provided a travel board list of these people you would like appointed.
The ones that both David Henry and William Ellis had sent to me. I reached out to both of them to ask for them to start sending individuals that they think that would want to do it. And those are the individuals who said, yes, we would love to help.
Excellent. No, do we have a motion for?
I will make a motion to approve the persons listed on the travel board list as received by the both party chairs.
Second that. All in favor?
I'm sorry, this requires a resolution, so, the resolution will, in essence, appoint the individuals on, is that one list?
Yep.
Nice one, that's Exhibit A?
Yes.
When did we receive Exhibit A?
It was today was when we finalized it so that it would be who is going to actually work. And that way we can start requesting the rest of their paperwork.
Shout to purchasers.
Yep, party chairs were both reached out to last week when we noticed the increase of travel board requests.
A, next week.
October 17th. So a week from today.
Said a week today, and you found a week ago.
Yeah, a week ago from today, sorry.
And so we have a motion and a second. And do you need us to, can we say, or do you need an individual vote only?
Since all members are present, you can do, a voice vote.
Right.
But I wanted to display, so you know what you're voting on,
Okay.
this resolution.
Very good. Oh. It's hard to read. Do you want to read it as a record or?
I can, if you'd like. I'm also trying to.
Oh, here we go.
So a resolution of the Monroe County Election Board, resolution appointing additional absentee board members for general election. Whereas pursuant to Indiana Code 31154.3, the election board shall appoint voters to the positions of absentee voter boards, which includes travel boards, teams of absentee ballot counters, and teams of couriers consisting of 2 voters of the county, 1 from each of the 2 political parties that have appointed members on the county election board. And whereas the procedure for appointment requires the county election board must notify the county chairman of the number of nominations that will be needed to fill positions on absentee voter boards no later than 50 days before election day, then such notification was made, and the county chairman of the political parties previously notified the county election board of their nominations and such nominations were appointed. And since the initial appointment of absentee board members by the election board, the need has arisen due to the number of absentee ballot requests to appoint additional absentee board members, whereas the election office notified party chairs of the need for additional absentee voters on October 17th of 2024. Nominations were received from party chairs that are listed in Exhibit A. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Monroe County Election Board that pursuant to Indiana 311.54423, the individuals listed in Exhibit A are duly appointed as absentee voter board members for the general election occurring in November.
Now that the public has had a chance to hear and read, the resolution. Do we have any comments? Seeing none, I'll take a vote.
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Resolution carries. And the next thing on our agenda is travel board request. And Kylie, I believe this is yours as well.
So we have two travel board requests that have been sent to us. One of which is located in Connersville, and the other one is on Meridian Street in Indianapolis. So since it is outside of the county that they will be traveling, it does say that the election board has to approve that we send travel board out of the county to fulfill these requests. If you choose not to, then they are denied. So the one with Connersville, it is an individual that was in a nursing home here in town and got moved to a nursing home out of town. So that is one thing to keep in mind. The other one, we don't know what their situation is and have not been able to recontact them since receiving their application.
And this, Molly, I think that put you on the spot here, but is there anything we need to be concerned about as far as whether or not we can accept these? Well, obviously, the second one where we haven't heard anything.
Yeah.
But we don't have to make that decision though until election day, is that right? Because you might hear from that person.
So, yeah, the only thing with that is on election day, travel board is only sent out for emergencies. Any travel board requests that were sent out have to be fulfilled by, I believe it's 6 o'clock the night before election day.
But we still do have some time. Do we wanna wait or?
For the person who, well, if we are going to err, I would rather err on the side of allowing them to vote. Precedent from previous election boards, if they were in the hospital or something like that, we have sent a travel board to the voter. I feel like there's a hospital on North Meridian.
I believe.
I'm not one you're familiar with. I'm not sure. It's not coming to mind. It's not St. Vincent's, but it's something you've heard of.
Okay.
And so, and it feels to me that if they could come and vote, either take advantage of early voting here or on election day, they wouldn't be.
Well, and at this point, everything matches for Monroe County. Right?
Yeah, for them both, like everything matches up, like there would be no issues for them to show up to early voting except for accessibility issues.
So if the travel board goes up and there's any issue, they'll just have to do a provisional ballot?
Correct.
Okay,
Yep, they're sent with paperwork for provisionals if there were an issue. But for the most part, our travel board is very smooth sailing. We don't have a lot of issues. I think we did have one person that came back as provisional because they were, they didn't have an ID on them.
do we need to have those specifically identified or how?
I wouldn't want to ID.
Yeah,
Okay.
our office knows the two individuals. We don't want to say a name to.
Understand. Okay, so I do.
I will make a motion to accept the 2 out-of-county travel board requests. Second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I would recommend a roll call vote because this is the first time of hearing the travel board issue, but looking at the travel board statute, it does require a unanimous vote, so it might be better to. record the-
Okay. Very good. So we will have a, right, Ashley.
So Nicole Brown,
Yes.
Judith Benkart,
Yes.
Regina Moore,
Yes.
Now, there's something else you needed to discuss.
I only have one other thing. So there are registered voters who their address are voter registration's office. This is because they are overseas and they don't have an expected return date yet. We've been receiving postcards for individuals who would be registered at our address from All of them are signed by different people, but they are specifically for Tim Peck and they're campaigning for Tim Peck, but there is no disclaimer on them. So we wanted to have the election board to review them so that it is, because it has to be reported to the election board when we receive something that doesn't have a disclaimer on it for a candidate.
So the actual postcards are not for anybody.
Correct. But all of the information that is on them are specifically for Tim Peck. That's why we wanted the election board to review them to determine what they wanted to do from here. They've been coming in more and more each day.
And you're getting things from the people who received them and they're.
No, they're coming to our office. They're mailed to our
Oh, I
office
see.
because they're individuals who are registered at our address.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so otherwise we wouldn't have known about it if it wasn't for that.
Let me ask you this. It, I believe, volunteers at home, you know, just who want to contribute, do something, but they may not be able to go door to door. They agree to write postcards, like they may not be on that person's campaign. They may not be a spokesperson, you know, it could be a candidate's mother or something, you know, that does the pay for extend to somebody who's just sitting at their kitchen table, wants to contribute to the election? Oh, I should have been passing them down. Please excuse me.
And they are signed. I think all of them are signed from somebody different.
Sure.
If they're they've got a list, a mailing list, right?
Yep.
And they just,
I'm assuming they received a walking list from our office and then distributed to everybody and they started going through and mailing out. Yeah,
would it be an issue if there wasn't a candidate, if it was just, you know, John Smith, I hope you'll vote in this year's November election, would it be an issue?
I don't think it would if it was that, but since this has an actual candidate's name in it, we're not for sure. That's why we wanted to bring it to you guys' attention.
Sure, absolutely.
I've been involved in postcard writing before and I was looking for something specific. And so in my Google search, I ended up on Amazon. And you can buy these cards, maybe not this exact card, but you can buy many cards. And it surprised me that there were so many available for the public, especially I've never seen that before.
Right.
So there's an issue with postcards that it must be effective or something because everyone seems to be writing them this year. But these may have come from Amazon. They may have been, and each one is signed by someone different. So it's not, I don't know if it, and the handwriting is all different.
Yep.
I would think that these are someone who just, I don't know if they know these people or not. Maybe it is a list. Have you looked to see, are these people who have requested absentee ballots? Are these people who have just registered to vote?
They are, so some of them are ones that have registered to vote, but have not requested a ballot this year. And then some of them have requested ballots this year. So that's why we're confused as to, there's not like a specific group, like the ones that are overseas that haven't requested a ballot yet, but it's multiple people. I mean, it's diverse quite a bit. And then some of those are ones that actually have moved back to the county and have voted in person, but haven't updated their registration to change their address yet.
And I'll add, I was registered at this address at one point when I was overseas traveling, and I want to just say that the staff did a fabulous job of keeping track of where I was
Yeah,
and how my vote was, and I just thank you.
Yes.
That's a little aside, but thank you.
Have you contacted both, David Henry and William Ellis to see if they have any issues?
we haven't, they started coming, we had at first, it was just one or two, and then all of a sudden we had like 10 of them come in one day.
Okay.
So we were just kind of like, okay, maybe this is just somebody at their home doing this.
Sure.
And then that's why we were like, okay, now we're starting to get more, maybe we should take these in just to report it so that you guys know about it. not necessarily saying something needs to be done today, but I wanted it to be addressed to know that it is happening.
Does this?
And that way we can look into it more to see what way we need to proceed from here.
But, I mean, there's no, to me, this is one person. The candidate may or may not know that somebody is writing postcards on their behalf, so it doesn't feel right to penalize the candidate. Certainly, if John or Jane Doe is sitting in their kitchen just writing postcards because I want to do one thing, you know, to contribute to the election, I don't even know how you would find these people. So I don't know.
And the website here, vote411.org, that is the League of Women Voters website.
Okay,
It's
Well,
not,
that's-
it doesn't belong to him particularly.
sure, okay.
So, no. I mean, if you are going to, what is this?
So what are you gonna do with these if we say they're okay to send? Are you just gonna contact these people?
So we get lots and lots of mail for registered voters in our office that we can't do anything with. So at the end of the day, normally it's just pitched because it's considered junk mail for our
Oh,
office.
okay.
Because most of it is campaigning materials or it's somebody reaching out to them because their information somehow got leaked at some point, which is one thing that we always are very curious about with the walking list. When we send them out, they sign a piece of paper saying that they're not going to sell the information, but then we still see stuff coming in that clearly their information got out somewhere.
Sure.
So, I mean,
So you really won't do anything with this? Okay.
nope, just
Well, I don't-
reporting it to you guys so that you know that it's happening.
Okay,
Since there wasn't a disclaimer on it, it kind of caught the attention of my staff, my office.
I don't think, I don't know for a fact without researching it, but I don't believe it requires a disclaimer.
I don't think so either, but we wanted to make sure that it was
No, I
brought to the
appreciate
election.
that.
attention.
So does the state law say anything about volunteer activities on behalf of a candidate with disclaimers or not?
So I started to look into it a little bit. I haven't had a lot of time. Early voting, so it was more of like just making it known. I haven't done a lot of research into it or to see a lot of information. The one thing that did stick out to me was that they're not all from, like, not voted or have requested or have voted. They're just all over the place.
Well, I don't think there is anything that, people do.
I don't think there's anything on the volunteer side, but I do know, like, if it's a candidate that like has paid these people, okay, I
Correct.
need to send this out.
Oh, yes.
Then there has to be a disclaimer in there.
Right.
And when we noticed that it has the same candidate's name on every single one of them, we were like, okay, was this sent by them or is this just a group of volunteers that decide to do it?
How would you know?
Yeah.
Right.
I certainly would let David know
Mhm.
that this is coming in for Mr. Peck.
Yep.
Just so he has a heads up.
Sounds good.
But other than that,
Styles of postmarks too.
sure. Oh, yeah,
So they're
no
coming
question.
from the sign.
Oh, yeah, that's an interesting one. How did that get to you when there's no postmark? Okay, so.
Do you need a
I don't know.
motion to take no action?
Sure.
I will make a motion that we take no action until or unless we receive some guidance from the Indiana election.
And or any kind of comments from the chairmen of the two, the Republican and Democrat Party.
I'll second that motion.
And all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? I see, aye as well, so, we can have these back. Did you have? Nope. Okay. Nothing. Don't have to do this. What you talked about earlier before the meeting.
That was what these words.
Oh, that,
That was the travel word.
okay,
Oh, that one.
no, okay.
No,
All right, very good, very
that one's
good.
difficult.
All right, do we have any comments from the public? One wants.
I have a question. I have a question on one thing. I'm working with the Democratic Party on voter protection stuff and we're doing early voting. And,
Can you say your name for the,
Dee Owens.
okay, thanks, Steve.
Welcome.
And a lady called into our headquarters and said that she said she lived at the same place for 30 years, but she was made to vote a provisional ballot. She was given a green piece of paper. She said she didn't know what she was supposed to do, except she thought she had to come to some hearing 10 days after in order, but she wasn't sure what she was supposed to do to fix it. It was a really lengthy message. I have it, if anybody wants to hear it, but I wondered what happens in a case like that, so I can instruct my people to, back off or whatever, so I can help this lady. She wants me to call her back and say what it is she's supposed to do. I do have her name.
She should have been issued why she was given the provisional ballot.
That's what I thought, see.
And we try to encourage our inspectors and leads to fill that out, because what happens then on that 10th day following the election, when the board reconvenes, we don't open up the envelope. We're looking for why it was rejected and if you cured it within those 10 days. So if she has that green provisional paperwork, it should say, to cure your ballot, you need to bring a photocopy of your ID and deliver it to Election Central so that it can be placed with your provisional ballot, or show your registration or whatever the issue was, proof of residency.
She didn't seem to understand that, what she.
I don't think a voter should be leaving unless they understand
Yeah.
why they are being
That's what I
given a
thought.
provisional ballot.
I have a question. Is there any provision for curing the provisional ballot on that? Okay, and then at the election board meeting on that day? In other words, could someone come and say, I got this green paper and here's everything I
You
need?
have till noon.
Till
The
noon on
meeting
that
starts
day.
at 12:01. So you
So
have
there's
until
no
noon.
provision during the meeting.
We open at 8 and the meeting starts at 12:01. So you've got 4 whole hours. I would never encourage anybody to wait until the very last 4 hours prior to the election board reconvening. But anytime between the day they're issued the provisional ballot and noon on the 10th day after the election.
But during the meeting, there's no call for.
Honestly, it's never happened, but since it's noon, I guess it would be up to the board.
Sure.
So this lady may show up during the meeting and expect to be able to do that.
I'm
So on
gonna call her.
on the green piece of paper that is inside the envelope, inside the provisional envelope that we give them, it says all of the information they need to know, what they need to bring to cure their provisional, and then it also has the date, the location, and time that you have to be there by. So on all of those, it'll say that they need to be there the 10 days after after election day by noon to cure their ballot. I can talk to you,
Today.
right, she could go in today, yeah.
And
But-
here's the thing, our number doesn't change. If you got home and you were like, okay, they told me something, but I don't understand why I got a provisional, our number has not changed. It's been the same number since I've worked. And so call us, and I was issued a provisional ballot. I don't understand. I got my paperwork. Bring the paperwork back. We can have somebody explain. There are a number of ways to work through this. And there isn't anybody who won't work with that
That's
voter
what I.
to make sure
Yeah.
that they understand what they need to do to cure that provisional ballot. Is that fair?
Absolutely.
And I will say, I do understand that it is very noisy and it is very busy at early voting right now. So it has been really hard to communicate with voters and for them to be able to hear. So a lot of the times we have to pull them back into our office that's down there so that they're able to really hear what's going on, to understand what's going on. So it could have been a situation where she was out in that bigger area and they were trying to explain it to her, but it was just too loud. And that's one thing that is a downfall of Napa, but we love Napa. So, so that is one thing that is hard. And just with it being so busy, there could have been something small that got slipped or missed. But I will talk to you afterwards because I don't want the individual's name to be out there. That a way that we can keep the privacy of the voter.
Thank you.
Does anyone see anything?
No, other than, it's going well. We're expecting, as we prepare for the first Saturday of early voting, that's this weekend, we're expecting, a lot of people to turn out because it doesn't interfere with most people's weekday work schedules. So we'll be excited to see you there. We have one more Saturday after that on November 2nd. And then, of course, you can vote until noon on the day before elections. And so I encourage everybody to get out. And then if you have the day off, find something fun to do because your vote's already taken care of.
We are over 1,000 so far today, or today alone.
All right, well, we're gonna,
No,
you're good?
I'm fine.
All
I'm
right,
fine.
great. Well, we're gonna recess to October 4th at 4 o'clock. Is that correct? Can I get a motion? November, I'm sorry. Oh. Oh, geez. I just wanted to see if you were awake.
Yep.
I will make a motion that, barring the need to reconvene sooner, we recess until, November 4th, 2024, 4 o'clock PM at Election Central on West 7th Street.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We are recessed. Very good, thanks.